Hi, this is Chuck Oliver. Welcome to the Hidden Wealth System and our commonly asked client questions. The two most commonly asked questions that come to us would be number one, this sounds too good to be true. And the other top two, being second question, is why have I not heard of this before, either myself or why hasn't my advisor talked to me about this? And I think the understanding of the answers to those questions are very simple. Number one, people can't be aware of something they're not aware of. No differently than the first time you learned how to, beat your child in tic-tac-toe, to understanding that you can obviously form an opinion on global warming one way or the other. The reality is you have to be made aware of information before you can actually form an opinion, and then that opinion is going to come from learning. That learning is going to be applied through knowledge, and that knowledge becomes wisdom. Several people have said to us, quite comparatively to those two most commonly asked questions, why did I not learn about this 20, 30 years ago after they had their epiphany of learning what really seems to be very, in many people's minds, must be complex, but actually is very, very simple. The ability to link to something as opposed to being in something is the distinct difference between your money being exposed to the market corrections or crashes versus riding through that storm where clients in our design have not lost a penny, nor is the design structured for them ever to lose a penny. So I would challenge you, just because you've not heard of it, please don't discount it, that being your reasoning of not to explore it further. And if it sounds too good to be true, put it to the test and don't let that be your reasoning of just discounting the validity of this design. This design is supported by the largest corporations, the largest banking institutions, and some of the wealthiest people in the entire country. And I think it's important that if you really want to rethink your retirement, this is not your parents, for many of us, or our grandparents' retirement any longer. Understand what the most, I would say, the actual quickest or fastest growing design in our country is the ability to protect our money only when there's a market gain, not have exposure when there's a loss, and to do it with very little known areas of the tax code that enables that to happen, all without taxes. Taxes on the growth, taxes on the income. And meeting with a wealth protection architect and how to retirement protect your income long-term is a very simple exercise, and it's a free discovery consultation to discover for yourself as opposed to letting somebody else think for you. And I think to summarize, the easy way to understand this is there's two different cycles in this world. One is the freedom cycle and one is the captivity cycle. And ask yourself, which cycle do you find yourself in, especially when it comes to things that have very differing opinions from the status quo. The captivity cycle is one in which we think of the future we desire and we think we need it. And we haven't made the distinction of wanting it. And so the first thing we do is then look in our past to try to validate why what we want in the future must not be possible. And unfortunately, that puts us in kind of a trap of like a dog chasing its tail, and we're stuck and we become a retirement reality statistic. The freedom cycle is one in which you choose what future you want, not what you feel that you need. And then you do the research and the exploration and the investigating and the discovery. And then you decide from what you want from your past that comes along with your new future. And those are the folks that don't become a retirement reality statistic. Those are the folks of the very small percentage of people in this world, really around 3 out of 100 people will have a comfortable retirement as opposed to an uncomfortable retirement. So do yourself a favor, ask yourself this question. Is learning how to index and protect your retirement more important in what you don't know about it, or more important than what you think you do? Here's to your hidden wealth.